The shuffle in a major blues is not just a feel. For us on the guitar, it's also a technique. And if you're in A, you can do it in an open format or a closed format. And I'll show you what I mean by both things. So the first thing is we're gonna do the open one, which means that some of the strings we play are open strings. You're strumming shuffle eighth notes on a power chord, and then on beats 2 and 4, just on the number, which you remember is our backbeat, we're going to add another note in there. This gives it what you will hear as a typical bluesy sound for major blues. And it's also just a 2-finger technique when you do it open. So if you take a look at your A power chord, if we just played an A power chord, and you look very closely at the notes that you're fretting, they're A and E. A on the 6th string, E on the 5th string. So if I think, okay, what if I wanted to play an open A to play a power chord? I could put my first finger on the E on the 2nd fret of the 4th string and just strum those strings. That's an open power chord. Here's a power chord that you know. Here's a power chord open. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play my shuffle eighths, and on beat 2 and 4, just when I say those numbers, I'm going to put down my 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the 5th string. So it's gonna sound like this. Here's the trick. You're going to trust your right hand. Practice just the right hand. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Count in your head, and when you say 2 and 4, put down your 3rd finger. Now do it really slow so you get the slow shuffle. Remember the hammer-on technique? Once that feels comfortable, if you hammer on your 3rd finger a little early, it sounds really cool. Listen to this. I heard John Lennon do that on a record one time, and I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever heard in my life. But it's like anything, it's like candy. You don't want to do it every time. If you want to pull my ear to it, you do it, and then you don't do it anymore. So watch, I'll do it once. You see, if I did it every time, it would be too much. Even though it's cool, back it off, it's even cooler. When you play through the blues like that, look, you can do each of our chords, A, D, and E, you can do them all open. So D would be your open D, and then your 1st finger on your 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And my trick as I'm playing in the middle of the strings, and I only want to hit 2, is you know how normally when I'm playing with my pick, I'm playing down this way towards my right leg? Now I'm just gonna angle my hand a little bit the other way towards my left knee, just a little bit to the left. Not so much that I'm hurting my wrist, like don't hold your wrist tight, but you just angle it a little bit to the side so you're flicking it. It really helps not hit the other strings. As opposed to this, which is also cool. If you like that and you feel good about it, that's fine. But you could, if you feel like you keep hitting other things, you go this way. For your E, same thing. Open E, 2nd fret, 5th string, there's your E. Now the little hammer-on trick, when you put it all together, don't always do it the first time either. Maybe do it like somewhere unexpected. So you could go. You also notice that sometimes I didn't play the 8th note. I didn't play the little shuffle part. That also is cool. If you mix that in there and sometimes you don't play it, it kind of gives us like, oh, we're hanging. If you go back and forth between not always playing it and then sometimes hammering on, sounds really great. Now you may be laughing at home and say, well, I do that all the time, but I don't do it on purpose. Nobody knows. It just sounds great. It just sounds really cool. If you kind of miss the whole idea with it, that you're in time and you're loose and you're having fun, and the parts that aren't uniform make it sound really cool. So take your time. My advice is to practice on each open chord with the shuffle and get used to it, and then start to put the blues form together. Now what we're gonna do is take it to the closed part. So that just means that you're gonna play the full-on power chord based on your 6th string and based on your 5th string. So it goes like this. You're gonna use, for the 1 chord, you're basing it off the 6th string. 4 is right next door. Their D chord on the 5th fret. You go up 2 frets for your E chord. This one is a bit of a stretch. This is why I showed you the open one first, because it sounds great and it's really practical. When you go to the closed shuffle, the cool part is you can put it in any key you want. So if your friends are playing blues in A, great, you can use the open one. But if they say, you know, oh, our friend is coming and they play saxophone, can we do B flat? There isn't an open B flat shuffle pattern because it only works with the open strings. So you have to know the closed one. So we're gonna do the closed one in A and then we'll move it around. What's really essential is the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you wanna put that other note down on beats 2 and 4, now you have to reach up with your little finger 2 frets higher than where your 3rd finger is. So if you play the power chord with fingers 1 and 3, you can do this right now. If you can't stretch that far, you're not going to be able to do this next part, and that's okay. So you have to take it easy. I'm just saying this over and over again because I don't want you to hurt yourself. Be kind to your little finger. Come around, so bring your hand around. And when you just barely touch, just enough to make the sound, and then relax. It's harder to get the hammer on there because of the little finger, so you can almost guarantee that if someone's getting that hammer on sound, they're doing an open shuffle type thing. Then you go to your 4 chord. 5 chord. Back to 4. The great thing again is you can move it. So if you want to play with your friends who are in band and they go to B flat, it's also the same exact pattern of power chords. So it's 1, 4, 5, 1. The only trick is that you have to be very careful as you use your 4th finger, just nice and easy. You barely have to touch it really to get a good sound. And you don't want to pressure yourself into being absolutely clear all the time because again, it's just to get that sonic difference there on beats 2 and 4. That's the most important thing. So when you practice your closed shuffle, practice it in the middle or in the higher frets on the neck because they're smaller. It's easier to reach. So you could do blues in D, you could do blues in A, you could do blues in B flat, and just give yourself a chance to get comfortable. And then in the meantime, if you're playing and someone says, what key do you want to play in? Maybe you choose A because it gives you a little bit more ease on the neck when you're playing the open shuffle.